What's up, y'all? Shuk here, back with another video on the alt Holy Paladin, doing some solo shuffle. This is actually the first solo shuffle that I've ever queued on this alt Paladin. Here is the build that I was running. It's really similar to the 2v2 build. I did drop Improved Blessing Protection and picked up Touch of Light. I was also running Divine Plea in these because I assumed it was going to be really low MMR. I didn't actually know what my starting MMR was going to be. I didn't know how much inflation was going to be taking place. That's about all I have to say for the build, so let's get into the games. So the first match is against a Balanced Druid and a Survival Hunter, and my warrior is AFK in the starting area. He just completely AFK'd for some reason. And it looks like we're fighting against a Resto Shaman that's pretty undergeared, I think. But he obviously knows how to play. He ran in, wind sheared my Tears Deliverance, which was pretty interesting. His DPS weren't kind of following him. Now this BM Hunter that's on my team is decently geared. It looks like the Boomkin is pretty undergeared. So overall, this is honestly, I don't know, kind of what I expected. The MMR is 1622, which means there's only been 122 rating inflation. So it's kind of, I don't know, a lot less than I thought it was going to be. I thought that just starting MMR would be a lot higher, but I don't know. So on my main pally, when I queued a solo shuffle, this has been like weeks ago, my MMR was like 2310, and obviously I've been 2400 on my Holy Pally in solo shuffle, so it's going to be, you know, kind of the rating from the previous seasons is just kind of carrying over. So I just thought that was kind of interesting that, you know, only 122 rating inflation had happened, since this thing literally has never queued a solo shuffle. It's only queued some random 2s and stuff like that. My warrior's still AFK. I'm just trying to keep my hunter up. I am running Divine Plea, so you can see I'm kind of falling behind on mana, and now finally my warrior does come back into the fray. I hodge the shaman. It looks like our warrior is pretty undergeared. He only has 900k HP. So quite a few undergeared people, which is why I took Divine Plea, because a lot of people aren't going to be doing that much damage at this MMR. The BM Hunter does do decent damage, and I will say this Resto Shaman played pretty well, all things considered. Now we did end up getting the win after the warrior AFK'd for half the match, so that was pretty funny. Now it's the double hunters, one survival, one BM hunter, and we can either take down the boomkin or we can take down the warrior. I wasn't trying to call out targets in any of these. I was just kind of doing my thing and healing. Definitely not perfect gameplay in any of this. Right here I bait out his grounding totem, trying to like fake him, but then I ended up getting cloned myself. My survival hunter's taking a little bit of damage, and right here, if I was going to get hexed, which he lightning lassos me, it's DR'd. I was going to probably have to burn trinket there, but because I didn't get hexed, I'm able to kind of pick him up. And I'm just kind of letting them do the CC for now. I probably could have kicked that clone, or honestly the Resto Shaman, either one. I do stun the Resto Shaman. He actually trinket war stomps me into a hex, which again I thought was a great play. And what's sad is I just don't think this Resto Shaman has a chance at winning. He was actually making some great plays, but one of the frustrating things about Resto Shaman in solo shuffle is you can't make your DPS stand in Earthen Wall Totem. You can even run Totemic Projection and move it to them and they will run out of it. So a lot of that is why I don't play my Resto Shaman that much in solo shuffle, because it is so dependent on them standing in Earthen Wall. More power to the shamans that do want to play it, because I don't know, it just gets on my nerves. I'm running Ultimate Sack in these, so I can save the DPS if, you know, they don't use their defensives, or, you know, if I get cloned, it gives double immunity. So right here, we're just kind of whittling away. I'm just winning at mana. There's no shot that I'm going to go before he does at this point. I do get cloned here, and he was going for the grounding, but I didn't have blind. I was just going to try and kick him. I do get hexed, but it's just a bunch of overlapping CC, and you can see that my survival hunter is really not taking that much damage because the boomkin is sitting in bear form while I'm CC'd. Still have bubble available. We still have both blessing and protections available. And we have lay on hands. We just have a lot of outs, and you can see how we're slowly just kind of whittling down the mana because the boomkin's just sitting in bear form. It looks like they're kind of swapping to me, but I'm not really going to swap beacon just yet because they're not really doing much damage to me. The warrior's just kind of running over here, but the boomkin will die if he I was about to say he will die if he just tunnels me. So it looks like we got Ascendance, and we're just going to take down the boomkin before he can do anything. Yeah. So, kind of interesting second round. This third round is against Survival Hunter, Arms Warrior. And again, I have the BM Hunter on my team. He was really the DPS that was doing the most damage. And it looks like they might want to go me here. I wasn't quite sure. And then they swap to the Boomkin when he does come out. What I'm looking for here is for the Boomkin to get some good root beams, some good clones, stuff like that. And I'm going to run over here, cast Hand of Divinity. Nobody's really taking that much damage, so I didn't really have to sack that Hex. I thought about it, and I was like, I don't know. It's just not really worth it because nobody's taking any damage. Save it for, another CC to break out of. And then I'll have Clone on this one, so Ultimate Sack isn't as good. He doesn't have grounding available, so I really need to run over here and hodge him, which I'm going to do now on his healing wave. And he does trinket. Grounding doesn't stop blind, so I'm going to go ahead and blind him. Like I said, this shaman played really well. Like, just some of the stuff he was doing, especially considering like the MMR and the experience. It's like I kind of felt bad. I do decide to sack this Hex because there wasn't really much he could do in a lot of these, just because of the matchup, and like I said, how dependent it is on having your DPS stand in grounding and kind of do stuff for you. Right here, he's gonna root me into a static charge. I could have killed the totem, but I was just being a little bit slow. Kind of made a lot of mistakes in this one, but it doesn't matter at this MMR. I go ahead and use Blessing of Protection here, and I cast Tears Deliverance. And again, we're kind of even on mana this time, but that's also because I haven't been really efficient with my Infusion of Light procs. Right here, I go ahead and use the Blessing of Winter, so I'm going to get back Blessing of Winter's coming up here in 37 seconds, so I'm going to get back even more mana when that does come up. He does grounding there right before my Hodge, which, again, great play. I don't know, I was just a little bit surprised that the shaman played this well and was at this MMR. I know a lot of it's probably has to do with gear, and some people just they don't even want to queue. I do pop my wall here, and I don't know what the warrior's doing. He ran away when I popped my wall. We still have bubble. I walk him into a trap, and it looks like we're gonna get a bunch of pressure on the survival hunter here. He does grounding, and I don't have Hodge available. But what we really want to do is, now that it doesn't have grounding, get my Hodge off cooldown and then go Hodge into the blind. It looks like they diamond iced on my Boomkin, and I'm not sure what the root, if that was supposed to be a root beam or something, and he just hit the wrong target. Lightning Lasso does come out, and I go ahead and sack him. So it's Ultimate Sack, so it should break this Hex, and he's not going to be able to pick up his Hunter. He had Link available, so he could have linked there, but Ultimate Sack is just really good whenever dampening gets super high, especially if you can give people just immunity, especially now too that fear doesn't really break with, it takes a lot of damage to break fears and stuff now. I do get Lightning Lassoed, and the warrior does kick it, so that was kind of nice. So, and then I get stunned again, so I'm on full stun DR now. Grounding does come out, so I'm going to wait for that to go away, and it looks like the warrior's hitting the shaman, which I'm not a huge fan of that. But and then we beamed on the pets again. I'm not sure what's up with that one. One of the hunters is running Diamond Ice, and they have triple offensive dispel on this one, so I have to be kind of, wary of using Blessing of Protection on him when he gets low, just because I don't want it to get dispelled instantly. Trying to kill Earth Grab Totem here. And I want to go ahead and toss out. I really need to dispel my warrior. There we go. It was a little late. So late dispel on the warrior there. Using Barrier of Faith. And we have Daybreak available. But I don't know. We're trying to hold it. I was trying to line that Hex. But kind of an awkward spot for that. I'm not going to trinket this. I do have Bubble available. And again, alright, we're going ahead and use Daybreak. And we've already tossed out the Blessing of Summer. So they're going to be doing extra damage. He does drop grounding there. So, and I don't have Hodge available. So we now have the full Hodge into blind combo whenever we want it. The BM Hunter is starting to get really low. Although my Boomkin's kind of getting a little low here there too. I'm going to try and pick him up here. I go ahead and use Hand of Sacrifice. He flung his trap out and I walked into it like an idiot. So that was definitely a blunder, and then he hexed into it, but it's Diamond Dice. So right here was actually a good play. I thought I was out of that static field. I should have just turned and burned it, but I did get the Blessing of Protection off, so I was trying not to waste the globals to kill it with Crusader Strike, but that was kind of risky there. I don't know if my Boomkin knew that I was trapped in that static field for a second. But kind of an interesting one on that one. I think I ended up getting the killing blow there. So now we are Beastmastery Hunter, Arms Warrior, and I'm with the Survival Hunter and the Balance Druid. This one should be the toughest one to win. So like if the Resto Shaman's going to have a chance at winning, it should be this one because he has the geared BM Hunter on his team, and I have the Boomkin. So definitely the best shot that they have here. So the Resto Shaman's on Stun DR, and I think here in a second I go and Hodge him even though he's on Stun DR, which is really unfortunate. Or maybe I don't. I thought that was this match. So Resto Shaman here either gets a proc or he pops Ascendance. I thought he was going to Hex me, and so I Hodge him, so it was actually off DR there. He trinkets and I blind, but they do damage to him instantly. So kind of a, I don't know, misplay on my part. But that was a lot of the cooldowns used by the Resto Shaman. It looked like he used Healing Tide as well as a lot of other stuff. And we are actually doing a lot of damage to this BM Hunter. You can see me actually pop Daybreak offensively here. And we're getting him pretty low. I'm just playing super, super aggressive because I kind of know this is the one that we can potentially lose here. Which I haven't had to bubble in any of these. So kind of shows you. I'm not even sure if okay, so I have Burn Trinket here. I have Blessing of Protection. They do have double offensive dispel, but they're not getting it off. I don't know if he's not trinking, or, and it looks like the Resto. Oh, I'm gonna kick here. Yeah, I'm gonna kick that spell. He's gonna get cloned, and we're gonna take down the BM Hunter. So definitely an interesting one on that one. That was kind of a low. I don't know. That was a lot lower in dampening than I thought it would be. I think it was only 27% dampening. So now we are at 5 wins, 0 losses, and I honestly thought that the Resto Shaman was giving up here, but apparently not. He starts playing all of a sudden, and we're gonna go for the Boomkin on this one. We have the Warrior and the Survival Hunter, so another undergeared one. This one could turn out poorly, but I don't know. It should be fine as long as I'm running Divine Plea and I can just keep everybody up and long enough in dampening. I can just kind of this Resto Shaman. He doesn't really have anything he can do, and it looked like I'm not even sure if he's running Totemic Projection in a lot of these because I haven't seen him move a lot of his totems. So and I also, I don't know, maybe it doesn't show up, but I also don't see Water Shield on his buff bar. I only see Earth Shield. So that's a really big deal, and maybe it's just a UI error and it's not showing for me. But yeah, I don't actually see Water Shield there. If I was him, I would also be running Mana Tide just to try and combat, because he's obviously low. This guy's not fully geared for sure. He's got to be like 780, 782 PvP item level, something like that. It looks like he has his weapons. So we have Trinket available. So right here, I get really, really greedy. And I think this was, you know, there was no reason to be this greedy. I should have just bubbled to cast Tears. But the Boomkin actually uses Beam to interrupt me, which he hadn't been doing most of the match. And then the Hunter scattered me, which took his pets off of me. So I might have gone down there had I not gotten scattered. So I do go ahead and bubble. That was almost the biggest throw right there, just because I was being greedy. So I am winning on mana at this point. I still have Lay on Hands, which is another 5% mana, and I have Daybreak available. And Blessing of Winter will come up in 42 seconds, which is also more mana. So we're just going to win on mana at this point. They are doing some decent damage. It looks like they want me, but I still have both Blessing of Protections, and I haven't even swapped Beacon to myself yet. So really, there's no shot that they're going to be able to take me down. And he's scattering to kill me, which is not good at all. You can see how it just kind of takes his pet off for just a second. And my DPS are just running down the Druid. He does get the Diamond Dice. I'm going to Hodge off that, and the Druid is at like 10% HP. He was trying to clone, and that's the game there. So it did get a lot of matchmaking value for that. It brought me up to 1809. I'm going to see if I can get 2400 on the alt Paladin, just as kind of a fun little experiment, because it's obviously a lot easier on the main Paladin because it's been there, and the MMR carries over from season to season. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed this video, if you like the solo shuffle content, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe, drop a like, all that jazz. Helps me out a ton. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.